What has happened with ZKJ, USD, or USDT this month? This is Polyhedra Network Token, and I know a lot of you guys see this chart and think it looks terrible and think it's probably over. Well, I think, as long as there is a chart, there is still some type of possibility that it could reverse. It's not hopium. I just think that, if a token or market has not been eradicated, right, or delisted from all exchanges, I think there is still some chance that it comes back to a certain extent, at least. Okay, I'm not saying I'm not saying it's gonna go to the moon still, right? Or if it's gonna retrace this entire drop here. I'm just saying it's gonna be a wait and see approach. See what the data is giving me and what I'm looking for in the data. If I am looking for an uptrend here, is seeing if the trading data, if the candles are giving me higher highs and higher lows, especially on some of these higher time frames, like 1 day time frame and up. Okay. So, I don't hold any ZKJ, but I am looking for an opportunity to take a scalp, right? So, I'm just gonna give you guys my perspective, right? I think a lot of this is gonna depend on Bitcoin. I am long on Bitcoin and quite a bit of the altcoins. I am bullish on this market right now. I think the bull cycle has just started, right? So I do think it's going to look good for a lot of the altcoins. Let's see if ZKJ will be looking good in the near term future. Of course, all of this is just going to be my opinions and speculations, and none of which is financial advice. You should do your own due diligence. But let's come over here to the 3 day time frame where I mentioned that there was a falling wedge pattern here. Okay. Now, falling wedges usually break to the upside. Okay. However, this on this time frame here, we can see that the market is actually trying to break down from this falling wedge pattern. I don't think those are solid enough candles for me to say that this was a complete breakdown, and I still think that this falling wedge pattern is still valid. Now, solid, quote unquote, is subjective. You guys can let me know if these candles are solid enough for you to consider that this is a breakdown. But for me, no, right? However, I am looking at a possible retest here back up into this pattern. Okay, as you guys can see, this is the 3 day candle. It tried to actually break back into this pattern here. If ZKJ is not successful in breaking back into this pattern, I would expect more downside here. Okay, that would be a bearish retest, and I think the possibility of downside is gonna be greater if this is not successful in breaking back into the pattern. Of course, it can have different fewer tries, right? It doesn't have to be this doesn't have to be the only try, but right now I am focusing on what this could be, right? Let's take a look into the daily time frame where it actually went down to as far as about 15, like the mid 15 cents, right? Right now it is trying to actually get back on top of the daily 21 SMA as well, which is pretty in line with that upper trend line there. We do have somewhat of a higher low, okay? If you can actually hold this higher low and not go below about that mid 15 cent level with the daily candle close, then this would still look like, this, this bounce here still looks like it could still happen, right? Let's take a look into a lower time frame and see if I can see any clues on what this market could do, right? Hourly time frame, okay, it's still important right now to look at the hourly time frame because the data that's retesting this bottom trend line here, we still don't have that much data. So even looking into the smaller time frame would still be helpful, right? Hourly time frame, it looks like it has broken out of this falling wedge pattern right about here. I'm just gonna say, and the price target for this breakout here is about 21.5 cents price target. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more, there could be less. A lot of it is going to depend on what Bitcoin does as well. If Bitcoin starts dumping, that's not going to be good for altcoins. But I think chances of that happening is pretty low at this time. So let's see if what ZKJ does. Let's see if it let's see if it can keep getting higher highs and higher lows starting from the daily time frame, right? And that basically wraps it up for this video. If you guys want to continue seeing more of ZKJ, Polyhedra Network, or any other coins in this market, give me a request in the comment section below. Like, subscribe. I'll choose one request to do for you guys on a daily basis. And I'll see you guys on the next one.